So it's officially Halloween crunch time. We're getting down to the wire. Maybe you've exhausted all your personal coffers for stuff to watch, or maybe you're just looking for a list and found this one. Either way, you found yourself down here in the gutter with me. So I'm just gonna drop a few solid last minute Halloween watch recommendations for you. I'll start it off with an anthology, because anthologies, that's a good place to start. They're great for Halloween because they all have the kind of like sitting around telling spooky ghost stories vibe. This one's no exception. It is the Mortuary collection. Mortuary. This came out not too long ago. I'm not sure the exact, it might have been 2020. It's one of the better anthologies, in my opinion, that's come out recently. It stars the legend Clancy Brown as kind of our resident like spooky storyteller. He's basically a mortician. He's walking like a new hire around to show her the ropes or whatever. And as they're going through, he's telling her stories of people's deaths that he's like witnessed. It's a real classic setup. It all takes place in this old spooky mansion with like long dark hallways with creepy paintings and lightning and shit. And also, because the stories do kind of progress in like plot and depth, the girl he's telling the stories to kind of drops a comment on how good the story was. It's kind of like a little meta, like audience participation thing, where she like, in most cases, says kind of what you're thinking once the story wraps up. I think that's pretty well done. And yeah, it's just 4 stories. You got a couple monster stories in here, a ghost story, and the last one, which is honestly one of the best slasher anthology segments I've ever seen. And yeah, it's just a really good anthology. It's a Shudder original, so it should still be there. So easy to access. And yeah, I guess I'd give it like 3 stars. Like most anthologies, it has its ups and downs. But I mean, the Clancy Brown performance alone is worth watching it for, and the last segment. So yeah, definitely check that out if you got time. Next, I'm gonna throw a scarecrow in out there because, you know, it's Halloween, scarecrows. There are a lot of scarecrow movies to choose from, but we're gonna go with Night of the Scarecrow, not to be confused with Dark Night of the Scarecrow. This is a Jeff Burr joint, who is like, I would call him a 90s direct-to-video sequel legend. The guy's directed Stepfather 2, Pumpkinhead 2, Puppet Master 4 and 5, among others. Highly underrated filmmaker, in my opinion. He easily put out some of the best, most consistent, like, 90s video store horror movies. This one's kind of interesting because it's his only, like, standalone direct-to-video slasher. And I mean, you know, it is a scarecrow movie, so we're not here to be like moved emotionally or anything. We're just kind of here to see a cool scarecrow fuck shit up. And I think he accomplishes that. I mean, you'd think that'd be easy, but a lot of people fail at it. But Jeff sure didn't, in my opinion. The scarecrow is kind of derpy looking a little bit. He doesn't look super intimidating, but he is a cool scarecrow. He's basically like an old warlock who drops one-liners occasionally, a la Freddy Krueger. And on top of that, the movie has some great practical effects. There's a lot of like scarecrow magic being pulled off with some of these effects. And with the story, I mean, it's kind of like the ancestors of a town wronged a dude kind of story, and he's coming back. That's basically like the template for a lot of scarecrow movies. And I don't know, I've never really thought about it until just now. I mean, Jeff might have been the first. He might have been the bricklayer for that. I mean, I honestly think it was probably Dark Night of the Scarecrow. That's a pretty similar concept. But yeah, even though the story is standard and the Scarecrow looks a little derpy, everything else is solid. It's got a badass ending and in credits song. That's always a good thing to have in a movie. So yeah, I will also be giving this one 3 stars. Very solid, and no better time to watch it than around Halloween. Next, we're gonna do Werewolves Werewolves are a very inherently Halloweeny monster to me, and it's never a bad time to watch a werewolf movie. I think the easy thing to do here would be to suggest Ginger Snaps, because it's a werewolf movie and a Halloween movie, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to suggest its sequel, Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. And if you already have an opinion on this movie, because I have heard a lot of negativity towards this, and I don't really understand why, I say if you have a negative memory of it, go revisit it. If you haven't seen it, check it out with an open mind and an open heart, because I love this movie. The whole Ginger Snaps franchise is kind of just like of my time. It was late 90s, early 2000s angsty teen shit when I was a late 90s, early 2000s angsty teen. So with me, it hits just right. This one picks up where the first Ginger Snaps ended, and we're following around Bridget, who is played by Emily Perkins, who's always great. She's an awesome actress. It also has another great performance from a girl named Tatiana Maslany, I guess is how you pronounce it, as Ghost. And you don't get much of Catherine Isabel, but she does pop up every once in a while. But yeah, you're following Bridget's story after part one. She kind of ends up in a home for troubled stray kids or whatever. She's also trying to stave off the werewolf transformation. And yeah, it does this thing where there's just all these threats. Like, first off, the home she gets put in is like fucked up. There's like orderlies running around doing whatever the fuck they want. And yeah, it's like very like a girl interrupted kind of bad place to be. And you also have this threat of a werewolf that is tracking Bridget. And Bridget is trying to protect everybody else from her. So you've got all these building threats, and then by the end of it, a fourth unforeseen threat kind of like reveals itself. It's so good. And yeah, like this is honestly my favorite movie in the franchise. Like it's just got that kind of like moody, depressing tone. It's got a lot of like Little Red Riding Hood, like fairy tale kind of things going on in it. It's got that late 90s, early 2000s, like the editing and the soundtrack and just the writing and mood in general. And yeah, it's good shit. I give it 4 stars, easy. It's a banger. Give it another shot if you've seen it. And if not, check it out. And you know, if you want more, go check out Ginger Snaps Back, because I also like that one. And it would be a good one for Halloween too. Next, we're going to go with a shot on video movie. I mean, if you're here, there's a good chance you like shot on video, because I've covered quite a few. And there is one in particular that has a pumpkin head, and that is Sleepy Hollow High from the year 2000. If you'll notice, yes, this is not opened. The reason it's not opened is because it has this very old Walmart sticker on it. I actually got this not too long ago. I'm never going to open it because of that sticker. But yeah, you can watch this one on YouTube, last I checked. And it is out there randomly on DVD here and there. But yeah, this is coming from the like Scream era of slashers. It takes from the Sleepy Hollow lore. That's where you get your pumpkin head. It's about a gang of troubled teens who have to do community service on Halloween out in the woods for some reason. And yeah, they start getting picked off one by one by the pumpkin-headed killer. He's not a horseman. I'm not even sure if I remember them referring to him as headless. I think he's just like, I don't know. I don't think they put too much thought into it, but yeah. I mean, he looks cool. He's got like a cool enough pumpkin head. He's wearing fucking Zubaz and carrying around a big ass fucking sword of gray skull. So yeah, he's a cool killer. And on top of that, there is some like interesting, fun, like stylization and camera work in the movie. They didn't just shoot this movie lazily. They put some effort into it. So you've got these like stylized slow-mo scenes with music and dream sequences and stuff. It's all very cliche from that time period. There is some drama, but it is very ineffective. And it has a pretty frustrating ending. I mean, this is not a masterpiece. This is like it's a shot on video movie. So, you know, going into that, you got to know you're here for certain reasons and it's not quality. But one of the stronger suits, aside from like that style and camera work they were attempting and stuff, is kind of like the whodunit. I mean, they kind of bounce you around. Is it the G who like tortures peoples in the woods?
God damn, look at them goose pimples. Play with his nipples, he seems to like that.
Is it the disgruntled teacher? Is it Dante from Clerks? You really have no idea. Not because they weaved any kind of intricate mystery or anything, just because, like, you know, you don't know. But yeah, for the shot on video enthusiast or like a Halloween movie completist, this is definitely one to watch. And, you know, if you just like poorly made movies and you like that late 90s, 2000s, like cheese, I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it should get like 1 star, but it gets the little shot on video bump. So it's like 2 stars. It's okay. But hey, man, I mean, it's crunch time. You got to get some movies in, and we're scraping the bottom of the barrel now. So have fun with it. And the last one, the big finale for my Halloween recommendations for you, is just going to be Ghoulies. Because it's Ghoulies. I mean, it's little rubber monsters. You could watch any of them, I guess. I actually think that the first Ghoulies is probably the most like Halloween-y. It takes place in that spooky mansion. I mean, the carnival and the college are cool settings, but they're not as inherently Halloween-y. And the fourth movie is actually more like an action movie. So it's not really much of a contender. But yeah, the first one has a lot of just like the cult stuff, the ghouls and ghosts popping up everywhere. And, you know, I mean, it's Ghoulies. It's a 4-star banger. I'll never recommend you not watch it. But yeah, that's it. I hope you got some good recommendations that'll get you through this final stretch of Halloween. I mean, I can tell you this is all kind of stuff that I've watched recently, and I've had a good time with them. Not all of them are for everybody, for sure, especially Sleepy Hollow High, though I still recommend it. I dare you to watch it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.